new Star Wars show that's currently on Disney Plus, Skeleton Crew. Now, I had a privilege of watching the first 4 episodes of this show. I know as of this recording, the first 2 episodes have dropped. So J King, new Star Wars show, Skeleton Crew. What are your thoughts on this show?
New Star Wars show. I have to say, so far, at least 2 episodes in, from what I've seen, 2 episodes in. This show is very much the adventure that I think we need right now, especially with the holiday season. Not that it's like a holiday show like how Hawkeye was, but like more so in the sense of this has nothing to do with any big giant plots, and at least right now, this has nothing to do with any big revelations or connections to the wider Star Wars universe. This is just a group of kids and a potential Force user going on an adventure of a lifetime, dealing with the likes of piracy, scum, and villainy, all in the galaxy far, far away, and a conspiracy that ties back to their planet, sort of like E.T. in a sense, if you think about it, or the Goonies, if you think about it. Again, a lot of references to that, especially given the fact that the director is John Watts, the same man behind the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. But yeah, this is just fun, adventurous, good feels. You get some endearing kid characters here. And this does take place within the same timeline as The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, so you do see at least one, pirate that you may recognize from Mando Season 3. But outside of that, this is just a chance to have a fun adventure in Star Wars, something that I think we definitely need right now amidst any other project that is like building on established lore, building new lore, or, setting up either the original trilogy or the prequels or the sequel, like whatever the case be. This is just an adventure. This has nothing crazy as of importance, at least as we know of right now. This is just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, for me, like, even for like the rest of the series, like when you guys go see it, like as the episodes are coming out, I kept saying there's but the word that kept coming to me, like one saying fun, adventurous, but also wonder. But also the one word too is also innocence with this show. Like I kept saying, like even the harshest critics, you're watching like people, like even the reaction of the first 2 episodes, people, whether they were gonna go watch the show, which I don't expect the show to have a large like viewing. People like waiting for the show to come out, but I do see the show after it's done and be like, hey, go check this out, because this is a good one. I'm already like just 4 episodes into this, but like this, there's such an innocence with this show, especially with the dynamic of these kids. It's like, all right, when you think that kids can't be directed well in movies and shows, it can get very, very frustrating. But here, especially with John Watts and stuff, again, like these kids definitely are relatable, definitely are not are entertaining to watch. But also I think they're dynamic in different ways in terms of what type of archetype character that they are. As these kids, especially what was a middle school kid dealing with during this time, because that's what the age that they're giving. A little bit less than that though, but like it, for the fact that also dynamic as kids and stuff, going on trying to find a ship that might be also a Jedi temple and all this stuff like that, and it's like definitely giving the Goonies and type vibe to it. But yeah, I appreciate it in terms of what they were doing with terms of establishing the environment where this show takes place, because again, there's still mystery in terms of where the show like where in the galaxy takes place, even the outer rim, whatever. But where these kids are from, and they don't even know, because again, children are ignorant, they don't know where they are and stuff like that for what it is. But again, it's still interesting to just see that other part of the galaxy in Star Wars. But yeah, what was your just highlights from these first 2 episodes that you like?
I say one of the biggest highlights for me just happens to be how especially how these kids, because how is it? One thing I'll say is, like, I like how we get to see the everyday mundane life in Star Wars, because we get that like briefly every now and then between the shows and movies, but never for a good consecutive moment before it's like, boom, you're off to an adventure. But here it's like, we see these kids having to deal with the day-to-day life of going to school, getting good grades, and choosing what they want to do for their future. Middle school, what's your career, what you want to do, and all that type of stuff. And you have the type of kid that is longing for a sense of adventure, even treating, for forgotten stories of the Jedi or made up stories of the Jedi. Is like, those moments as kids when you're like, anything could be an adventure and you're reaching for the stars, you're reaching for this story out here, and it may seem grander, and to most it may seem stupid and childlike, but that's all a kid has at that moment. Like, that's all a kid has, really, is just those moments to dream. That's what that, especially with our main character here, that's his goal, is just to live that dream. It's like, yeah, you got your friend and these other two that will eventually become your friends, like, stuck God knows where in the galaxy, even in a port filled with piracy, and yet it's like, you're just trying to have fun here, because it's like, you've never been able to do something like this before, and anytime you dreamed of it, people have told you you're stupid for having those type of dreams, and yet he gets to live this adventure while unknowingly uncovering a secret that is hidden within his own home planet that may house something that no one was expecting, especially when it comes to, old currency.
Yeah, the Republic.
And it's out of current, and it's like out of placeness within the galaxy.
Yeah, and what the second episode too, again, we get introduced to Jude Law's character. We know he's a Force user, but there's still mystery about what his character and stuff like that. But one thing that I also appreciate, what I felt is, like, I kept saying this, and I know this word kept being thrown out there, but it feels, this does feel like Star Wars. And I mean by that, and what people who actually understand when they say that, is that you have a sense of adventure and wonder, but also of again, the authenticity of being in this galaxy, which is, again, like, we can know when stuff might be cosplay and what is actually like, okay, here's someone that doesn't know anything about Star Wars trying to do something, to do their own thing. And I honestly, this is from when I was watching this, I was like, I think George Lucas would approve this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and this is like, not trying to be like a loyalist here, but that's basically what it's giving here. But but yeah, and as you get into this, like, the second episode, again, the also about with the aspect of pirates, the pirate ship and everything. Again, it continued to do that in ways where it feels fun, and like you're on this ride and you're in this adventure. But again, what stuff we would complain about in other previous shows or films, I guess, with Star Wars, like recently. Again, this is what I feel is definitely, I think, in time for the holiday. Again, we'll get in more detail with this in future reviews and stuff like that. But I also just want to give a rating. DJ King, what was just your rating, I guess, for the first two episodes we got?
I think, honestly, first two episodes, I would have to give both of them consecutively, like, in 8 out of 10. And again, the reason I give it an 8 out of 10 is because, as you said, George Lucas would probably really agree with this. And I think the reason why he would, and the reason why I give an 8 out of 10, is because this gives back to the sense of adventure that the very first Star Wars movie gave. Like, regardless of the mission that those characters had to go on, there was a sense of wonder in this, especially in a character like Luke, for example, in what they were going through. And it's like, here you get that wonder again, in a very similar vein, but just with 4 kids now. That's the reason I give it an 8 out of 10, is because I'm looking forward to seeing where the adventure takes them next. I'm looking forward to next Monday when episode 3 drops and when the consecutive episodes drop, not because I'm looking for some crazy thing to get revealed that will expand the Star Wars lore, but because I'm waiting to see what adventure these kids go on next, and what dangers and great stuff they'll run into, or what characters they'll run into.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna play it safe here, because again, I have been duped with Star Wars before. But I give this like a 7.5 out of 10. I think this is a good opening episode for first two. As someone that's seen the next 2 previous episodes, again, that tone and consistency continues to grow. And again, you can also have some fan favorite characters as well with these kids and stuff. But yeah, I give this a good 7.5 out of 10. This is enjoyable. It does feel like Star Wars, and just for holiday season, I think this is also timely for you guys to enjoy as we wrap up this year. But yeah, I give this first 2 episodes about 7.5 out of 10. But that will conclude our review for the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. Make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share. We'll get more in detail in future episodes, more in depth But this is just kind of give a rough, quick review of the first 2 episodes that drop on Disney Plus, which you can watch right now. These next the next episode will be coming out, I believe, Monday or Monday, Tuesday.
No, it's Monday night for the East Coast, 9 p.m. for the West Coast, 6 p.m.
Okay, all right, yeah. So prime time Monday. But make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.